There is one specific psychological trap that will literally bankrupt you, even if you manage to make $1 million a year. A lot of people miss this, but it's the exact reason why lottery winners go broke, and why so many high-earning professionals are secretly living paycheck to paycheck. Welcome to the final installment of this series. If you've made it this far, you aren't just looking for quick cash. You're looking for generational wealth. You're looking to completely rewrite the financial DNA of your entire bloodline. In part 1, we talked about the mechanics of investing instead of saving. In part 2, we shattered the illusion of debt. But none of that matters, and I mean none of it, if you don't conquer the final boss of the money matrix. Today, we are tearing down the ultimate psychological mistake that rich people avoid like the plague. I'm going to be honest with you here. Most of what you see on social media, most of the wealth being flaunted in your face, is completely fake. It's an illusion designed to keep you trapped in a cycle of consumption. The most devastating mistake the middle class makes is sacrificing their future freedom to look rich today. We call this the ego trap. I've noticed that people will literally go into high-interest credit card debt to buy a designer belt with a massive logo, or lease a luxury car they can barely afford the insurance on, just to impress strangers they don't even like. In my opinion, this is the highest form of self-sabotage. You have to understand the difference between being rich and being wealthy. Being rich is loud. It's the flashy watch, the popping bottles at the club, the constant need for external validation. Being wealthy is completely silent. Wealthy people don't need you to know they have money, because their bank accounts validate them, not your opinions. A lot of people miss this. But the guy driving the 10-year-old Toyota in sweatpants might own the entire shopping plaza you're standing in, while the guy in the brand new leased Mercedes is one missed paycheck away from a total financial collapse. When you buy things you can't afford to project an image of success, you are vibrating at a frequency of profound lack. You're telling the universe, I feel so small and insignificant on the inside that I need these expensive labels to prove my worth on the outside. And the universe responds by keeping you chained to those payments. Rich people avoid the ego trap by delaying gratification. They take the money they could have spent on the depreciating luxury car and they buy an asset. They let the asset produce cash flow, and then they use the cash flow, not the principal, to buy the luxury items later. If you want to build an empire, you have to be perfectly fine with looking broke while you are secretly getting incredibly wealthy. Stop dressing like a millionaire and start investing like one. Your future self doesn't care about the designer shoes you wore in 2026. Your future self cares about the dividend-paying stocks and real estate portfolios you built. Now, let's get into the real secret. The next massive mistake is emotional spending. I see this happening everywhere, and it's keeping brilliant people entirely stuck. The middle class uses money as a therapeutic tool to regulate their nervous system. You have a bad day at work, your boss yells at you, you feel stressed, so what do? You go online and buy something you don't need because you want that quick hit of dopamine. You order expensive takeout because you feel you deserve a treat after a hard week. I'm going to be honest with you here. You are literally bleeding out your financial future, one small emotional purchase at a time. The wealthy do not use money to fix their emotions. They use money as a tool to build their vision. When a wealthy person feels stressed, they don't go to the mall. They go to the gym, they meditate, they read, or they look at their financial goals. They understand that the fleeting high of unboxing an Amazon package lasts for about 5 minutes, but the compounding stress of a depleted bank account lasts for years. You have to detach your emotions from your credit card. Before you buy anything, you need to implement a 24-hour rule. Ask yourself, am I buying this because it adds true value to my life? Or am I buying this because I feel empty and I'm trying to fill a void? If you are constantly trying to manifest wealth, but you are leaking money through emotional spending, you are trying to fill a bucket that has a massive hole in the bottom. The universe won't pour millions into a vessel that can't even manage hundreds. You have to prove to the energetic field that you are a responsible steward of the resources you already have. When you master your impulses, you master your reality. This brings me to the absolute core of the issue, the final trap that rich people never fall into. It's the identity misalignment. I've noticed that most people want the money, but they don't want to become the person who is capable of holding the money. They want the $1 million, but they want to keep their lazy habits, their toxic friends, and their victim mindset. A lot of people miss this, but money doesn't change who you are. It simply magnifies who you already are. If you are insecure and terrible with money when you are broke, giving you $1 million will just make you insecure, terrible with money, and completely bankrupt on a much larger scale. This is the internal thermostat. Imagine your financial identity is set to $50,000 a year. If you suddenly win the lottery and get $5 million, your subconscious mind will absolutely panic. It will look around and say, wait, this isn't who we are. We are the $50,000 person. And it will immediately trigger self-sabotaging behaviors, bad investments, reckless spending, giving it all away to toxic family members until you are right back down to the $50,000 level where your ego feels comfortable. Rich people avoid this by constantly upgrading their internal thermostat before the money even arrives. They do the deep shadow work. They heal their childhood trauma around lack and scarcity. They forgive the people who wronged them, because holding on to resentment takes up energetic space that should be reserved for abundance. They shift their identity from a consumer to a creator. In my opinion, if you don't shift your internal identity first, any money you manifest will slip through your fingers like sand. You have to start waking up every single morning and acting from the identity of the person who has already achieved the goal. How does the millionaire version of you handle a setback? How does the millionaire version of you treat their body? How does the millionaire version of you speak to others? You don't wait for the millions to change your behavior. You change your behavior, and that new frequency literally pulls the millions into your physical reality. You are the architect. You are the one writing the code for your life. The system was designed to keep you distracted. It was designed to keep you comparing yourself to strangers on the internet. It was designed to keep you emotionally reactive, so you keep buying things you don't need to impress people who don't care. But the fact that you are listening to these words right now proves that the spell is broken. The Matrix has lost its grip on you. You have spent the last 3 videos unlearning decades of financial lies. You now know that saving your way to wealth is a myth. You know that time isn't meant to be traded for an hourly wage. You know that bad company destroys good destiny. You know that strategic debt is a tool of the masters. And now, you know that your ego and your emotions are the final dragons you have to slay. You are standing at a crossroads. Down one path is the life you've always known, the predictable, safe, deeply frustrating life of the middle class. where you are always one emergency away from disaster. Down the other path is the unknown. It requires discipline. It requires you to look foolish to your broke friends. It requires you to delay your gratification. But at the end of that path is absolute, total, unshakable freedom. I know which path you are choosing. I can feel the shift in your energy just from you staying until the end of this series. You are no longer accepting the crumbs falling from the table. You are pulling up a chair and demanding the entire feast because you finally realize it's your table. We need to lock this in. We need to finalize the contract between your current reality and your future destiny. I want you to go down to the comments section right now and make your final declaration for this series. This isn't just a comment. This is a signature on your new life. I want you to type, "I am immune to the traps of the Matrix." Type it like you mean it. I am immune to the traps of the Matrix. Feel the power of those words. You are immune. Key? The marketing doesn't work on you anymore. The fear-mongering on the news doesn't work on you anymore. The poverty mindset of your peers doesn't work on you anymore. You have elevated above it all. Your mind is now a fortress of abundance. Your actions are aligned with wealth. Your future is incredibly bright. Go out there and start building your empire. It's already yours.